Have you ever wondered what makes a villain truly unforgettable? It's not just about being evil. It's about the moments that define them, the scenes that are seared into our memories forever. For so many of us, that moment is Scar's ultimate betrayal in The Lion King. The chilling whisper, "Long live the king," followed by the unthinkable. Today, we're going deep into that scene to unpack why it's one of the most powerful and darkest moments in animation history. Let's set the stage. Mufasa, the epitome of a just and powerful ruler, has just saved his son Simba from a terrifying wildebeest stampede. He's exhausted, hanging precariously from a cliff edge. He sees his brother, Scar, and calls for help. This is where the genius of the scene begins. The music swells with a false sense of hope. We, the audience, along with Mufasa, expect a rescue. This is family, after all. But Scar's expression shifts. The look in his eyes is pure, unadulterated malice. He leans in, and his claws dig into Mufasa's paws. The physical pain is secondary to the emotional devastation that dawns on Mufasa's face. He doesn't just see his brother, he sees his murderer. The realization is instant and gut-wrenching. And then come the words, "Long live the king." It's not just a line. It's a coronation and an execution in one breath. It's the culmination of years of jealousy, resentment, and ambition, all condensed into 4 simple, terrifying words. The delivery is everything. Jeremy Irons' voice acting is legendary for a reason. It's not a shout, it's a sinister, triumphant whisper. It's personal. This isn't just about taking the throne. It's about extinguishing the brother who always overshadowed him. The phrase itself is a cruel twist of irony. Long live the king is meant to be a declaration of loyalty, a celebration of the monarch. Here Scar uses it as a final, venomous farewell, anointing himself as the new king as he murders the old one. And then, the fall. The slow-motion shot of Mufasa's descent is brutal. It forces us to watch, to feel every second of Simba's horror. The camera doesn't cut away. We see Mufasa disappear into the dust and chaos of the stampede below. The silence that follows is deafening, broken only by Simba's desperate cries for his father. This is the moment the world of the Lion King and our own childhood innocence shatters. Why does this scene hit so hard? It's a betrayal of the most fundamental trust. Family. We're taught that family is our safety net, the people who will always be there for us. Scar's act is a violation of that sacred bond. It's a Cain and Abel story, a Shakespearean tragedy played out on the African savannah. The animators masterfully use color and shadow to amplify the drama. The dark, oppressive tones of the gorge contrast with the bright, vibrant pride lands we saw earlier. The lighting on Scar's face as he delivers the lion makes him look demonic. This scene is also a masterclass in storytelling because of its consequences. It's the catalyst for everything that follows. It forces Simba into exile, shapes his guilt and fear, and allows Scar to seize power, plunging the Pride Lands into darkness. Without this moment, there is no journey for Simba, no redemption arc. It's the pivotal event that defines the entire narrative. Let's talk about the emotional manipulation that happens right after. Scar doesn't just kill Mufasa, he immediately twists the situation to blame Simba. He preys on a child's grief and confusion, convincing him that he is responsible for his own father's death. If it weren't for you, he'd still be alive. This is psychological cruelty at its most refined. It's one thing to be a murderer, but it's another to frame your own traumatized nephew for the crime. This act solidifies Scar as a villain of not just physical, but deep emotional evil. The impact of this scene extends beyond the film itself. It taught a generation of kids about loss, betrayal, and the harsh realities of the world. It showed us that sometimes the monsters aren't strangers. They can be the ones closest to you. It's a complex and mature theme for a kids' movie, and that's why it has endured. It doesn't talk down to its audience. It respects them enough to show them the darkness, so that the light at the end of the story shines even brighter. When you rewatch The Lion King as an adult, the scene takes on even more weight. You understand the political ambition, the long-simmering sibling rivalry, the Freudian undertones. You see the careful planning that went into the stampede, making it clear this wasn't an impulsive act, but a premeditated assassination. It's a scene that works on every level. Visually stunning, emotionally devastating, and narratively crucial. It elevates Scar from a simple cartoon villain to one of cinema's greatest antagonists. It's the dark heart of the Lion King. A moment of pure, unforgettable villainy that defines the film and continues to captivate and horrify audiences. Decades later, it's a testament to the power of animation to tell stories of the most complex and fascinating figures in the Lion King universe. The tragic prince, Scar, and his mother, the often overlooked Queen Uru. Now, for those of you who might be new to the extended lore, Uru is a name that resonates deeply within the fan community. While she isn't in the original animated movie, she's featured in the book series, The Lion King. 6 New Adventures. She was the queen of the Pride Lands, wife to King Ahadi, and mother to 2 very different sons, Mufasa and Taka. Yes, before he was the villain we all know, Scar was named Taka. The name Taka, in Swahili, can mean waste or dirt, which already tells you a lot about the difficult start he had in life. Uru, on the other hand, is a name that suggests something precious, like a diamond. It's this contrast that sets the stage for their story. Let's talk about Uru first. Imagine the strength and grace it would take to be the queen of the Pride Lands. The books paint her as a wise, kind, and loving mother who cared deeply for both her sons. Unlike her mate, Ahadi, who clearly favored the elder and stronger Mufasa, Uru saw the potential and the hurt in her younger son, Taka. She was his advocate, his comfort, and perhaps the only one who truly understood the sensitivity hidden beneath his growing bitterness. In many fan interpretations and stories, Uru is the one who tries to balance the scales, to give Taka the love and attention his father so often denied him. She's the gentle rain in the harsh sun of his childhood. Her tragedy is that, ultimately, her love wasn't enough to save him from the darkness that would consume him. This brings us to Taka. His journey to becoming Scar is one of the most compelling villain origin stories ever told. It wasn't a sudden turn to evil, it was a slow burn, fueled by years of feeling sad. Think about it. Your older brother is destined for the throne. He's stronger, more admired, and has the full attention of your father. You, on the other hand, are given a name that feels like an insult, and are constantly reminded of your secondary status. It's a classic tale of sibling rivalry, but magnified by the pressures of royalty and destiny. The pivotal moment, the one that sealed his fate, was the incident that gave him his scar. According to the books, Taka, desperate to prove his worth and embarrass Mufasa, was tricked by a trio of hyenas into a confrontation with a herd of angry buffalo. Mufasa saved him, but not before one of the buffalo horns slashed him across the eye, leaving a permanent mark. When he returned, expecting sympathy, his father, Ahadi, coldly nicknamed him Scar as a constant, brutal reminder of his failure. It was at this moment that Taka died and Scar was born. He embraced the name, turning a symbol of his shame into a badge of his new identity. It was a declaration: if you're all going to see me as a failure, as a scar on this family, then I will become the very embodiment of that. This is where the connection between Scar and Uru becomes so heartbreaking. For Uru, seeing her son physically and emotionally scarred by his own father's cruelty must have been devastating. She saw the bright, albeit mischievous cub she loved retreat into himself, his heart hardening with every passing day. She would have seen the jealousy fester, the ambition twist into something dark and dangerous. She likely tried to intervene, to mend the rift between father and son, and between the 2 brothers, but the damage was too deep. Her story is a poignant reminder that even a mother's fierce love Koina always conquer the shadows. After Uru and Ahadi's reign ended, the divide between the brothers only grew. Mufasa became the king. He was born to be noble, respected, and loved. Aniskar, he was relegated to the shadows, the leader of the lackluster Lion Guard, his brilliance and strategic mind left to atrophy. He was surrounded by a pride that saw him only as the king's strange, resentful brother. His famous line, "I'm at the shallow end of the gene pool," is dripping with the sarcasm of a lifetime of being underestimated and sidelined. He's not just complaining. He's articulating the core of his pain. He believes he has the intelligence, the brains, but Mufasa got the brute strength, and, with it, the kingdom. This deep-seated resentment is what makes his eventual takeover so chillingly personal. It wasn't just a grab for power. It was the ultimate act of revenge against a world, a family, and a brother he felt had wronged him from birth. When he orchestrates Mufasa's death, it's the culmination of a lifetime of envy. And when he whispers, "Long live the king," it's a final, bitter farewell to the brother who had everything he ever wanted. But what would Uru have thought? Imagine her spirit watching over the Pride Lands as her own son plunges it into an era of darkness and despair. The son she had tried so hard to protect had become a monster, destroying the very legacy she helped build. The pride she ruled with grace was now starving under the tyrannical paw of her own child. The harmony she cherished was replaced by the cackles of hyenas in the heart of Pride Rock. It's an unimaginable sorrow, a mother's worst nightmare realized. Even in his moment of triumph, Scar is a tragic figure. He gets the throne, but he has no one's respect. He has the power, but the land itself withers under his rule. He's a king with a crown, but no kingdom worth ruling. His reign is a testament to his own emptiness. He achieved his lifelong goal, but it brought him no happiness, only more isolation. He could never escape the shadow of Mufasa, and in the end, it was Mufasa's son, Simba, who returned to reclaim the throne. The final confrontation between Simba and Scar is layered with history. When Scar tries to blame the hyenas, it's a desperate echo of the boy, Taka, trying to talk his way out of trouble. When he's finally cornered, his own words, his own betrayal, come back to destroy him. The hyenas, the very allies he used to seize power, are the ones who seal his fate. A perfect, poetic end for a character who lived by manipulation and deceit. So, this tribute is for them. For Uru, the queen, whose love was a beacon of light, even if it couldn't penetrate the darkest corners of her son's heart. Her story is a quiet but powerful part of this saga, representing the love and hope that existed before the tragedy. And this tribute is for Scar, or rather, for Taka. For the lost prince, the brilliant mind, twisted by jealousy and neglect. He is one of fiction's greatest villains, not because he was born evil, but because he was made evil by circumstance, by cruelty, and by choice. Their combined story adds incredible depth to The Lion King, transforming it from a simple tale of good versus evil into a complex family drama about love, loss, and the scars we carry. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the shadows of the Pride Lands. It's stories like these that make this universe so rich and enduring. What do you think about Uru and Scar's relationship? And if you enjoyed this deep dive, please give this video a like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.